Okay. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Village of Bartlett, counties of Cook, DuPage, and Kane. Please call the roll.
Michelle Sarwaz,
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe,
Here.
George Koziel,
Here.
Bob Bacaro,
Here.
John Mieso,
Here.
Julie Kapadukakis,
Here.
Amy McSwain,
Here.
Mike Weirden.
Yes, here. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the August 7th meeting.
So moved.
Moved by George, seconded by John. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Charlie DeVoe,
Yes.
George Koziel,
Yes.
Bob Bacaro,
Yes.
John Mieso,
Yes.
Julie Kapadukakis, Amy McSwain,
Yes.
Michelle Sarwaz,
Abstain.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. The item on the agenda tonight is case number 2511, the text amendment. Is the lovely and talented petitioner present?
Yes, I am.
Okay. For the record, do we have the publication notice?
Yes, we do.
Mark that Exhibit A. Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you're about to give is only the whole truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and present your case.
At a previous committee of the whole meeting, the Board of Trustees and Mayor expressed some concerns with the number of vape and tobacco shops that have opened within the village, and kind of in keeping with keeping the dispensaries in more of the, along the major thoroughfares like Route 59, Army Trail, and Lake Street for potential siting, we're requesting a text amendment to prohibit tobacco and vape shops in the B1 and B2 zoning districts and make them special use permits in the B3 and B4 zoning districts. So the code sections were outlined in the staff report exactly what changes would be made. And that would require a public hearing then for any store that is going to be a tobacco and vape shop, where the majority of their sales are coming from those products.
Majority being over 50%?
I think we are giving ourselves flexibility by just saying majority, so that it'll be a staff decision.
Okay. Very good. I like that idea. We need some more control. Oh, I forgot to ask if there's anybody that had to address the board on anything other than what's on the agenda. Okay, I don't hear any voices. Sounds like an excellent idea. I don't have any problems with it. Any discussion from anyone on the board?
Looking at the definition, so it appears CBD establishments are not included.
That is correct, because they don't fall under that license for the state. So this way, we can track which businesses are required to get the retail tobacco license from the state and make sure they go through our process as well. CBD products do not have to go through that state process.
So they're probably not on the tobacco tax return,
Correct.
right? Okay. Very good. Anyone else? Any motions or further discussion? Well, we have to open it up to the public hearing first. Anyone in the audience have anything to say? I guess not. What a big audience. Okay, now we'll take motions or more discussion. Any motions?
I make a motion for approval of, what is it? Well, the number of it.
25-11.
25-11, yep. Case number 25-11, based on the findings of fact.
Correct.
There's been a motion. We'll close the public hearing. Any seconds?
Second.
Moved by John, seconded by Michelle. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
George Koziel,
Yes.
Bob Bacaro,
Yes,
John Mieso,
Yes.
Julie Kapadukakis,
Yes.
Michelle Sarwaz,
Yes.
Charlie DeVoe,
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Yes. Okay. Stay in touch with yourself to find out when it appears on the village board agenda.
I will.
New business, old business?
We are going to have a special public hearing, Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on Monday, October 13th, for a tree variance It is something very unusual. This is the second one I've dealt with in the 23 years that I have been here. The Heritage Oaks subdivision, which is on Oak, Hickory, and Western, the southern half of that subdivision has a 50-foot tree and drainage preservation easement in the rear yard. So if anyone wants to build anything within that easement, they are required to get a tree variance from the village board before they can put anything in there saying the construction is not going to affect any of the trees or the drainage of those properties. The permit was issued in error for a fence, so if you go out to the site, you will see that there is a fence along the one property line where there are no trees, but there are fence posts installed in the easement where there is some brush. So all of that will be, the packet will be sent out tomorrow so that you have a little bit of time to look over it. It's very different. The only two, you're not looking at your typical findings of fact. You're looking to see if it's going to, if we issue a permit for it, is it going to affect the trees and is it going to affect drainage?
And this is going to be one property owner?
It is one property owner. So, and the only people that are notified are those that are within 250 feet of that property that live within that subdivision.
So if they live in another subdivision close by, even within 250, it doesn't matter,
Correct.
which is unusual because this is different than normal.
It's very unusual. There was a resolution passed in 1997 because there was some dispute over how the easement should be enforced and what was allowed and what wasn't. I'm including that entire resolution in the packet. You will see that there are a number of properties that were grandfathered in with fences, swing sets, sheds. There are treed lots and untreed lots in the subdivision. It's the most unusual case that I would say we have in the village.
And what street is this on?
This is on South Oak, South Hickory, and Southwestern.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Is that why we do a special meeting, because it's an unusual case?
We're doing a special meeting because the permit was issued in error, so the village is at fault for that. They should have gone through the process at first, and to get them so that it can go before you for the public hearing, and then we can get it on the village board for their review. The second meeting in, what month is this? October.
You know, that whole area, it was fairly heavily wooded when I was a child, but there was a lot of marshland back there too. And there is no wetlands area at all. I suspect they must have filled in some of that or put pylons in some of the houses.
I can't speak to that, but the northern lots on South, like Oak and Main, are even older. We're part of Bartlett's original subdivision.
Yes, yeah.
Those did not have recorded drainage easements. So when Heritage Oaks was done, they put in these large rear yard drainage and tree easement, I think, to kind of accommodate for what was going on further north on those blocks.
And probably because there was marshland in there.
I wasn't here then, Mike.
I remember as a child, I grew up here in the 60s, and we used to go pick cattails back there. Cattails don't grow in the highlands.
No.
So, do you anticipate this might not be a long meeting unless it gets contentious?
I believe there will be neighbors that will come out opposing. So the previous one that I dealt with was in 2003. They had the public hearing, and neighbors came out to voice their concerns with the fence. I will say that the findings of fact that were reviewed at that time did not follow the resolution. They were following our standard variation findings of fact. And so they were saying there wasn't a hardship, which is why planning and back then it was the Zoning Board of Appeals denied it. They were looking at whether there was a hardship or not, as you normally would with a variance.
Right.
The standards, if you read the resolution, which is why I've attached that in the memo, is very specific that you are only looking to see if it is going to cause damage to the trees or to the drainage.
You don't care about their pocketbook, we care about the trees and the drainage.
Right. It's not that it
That's how
has
it
to.
should be, that's how it should be.
So it's a very unique case, so that's why I'm giving you guys a little bit extra time to read it, so you can look at the resolution and kind of see what the history of that is.
Reason being, because I told you I have a historical society meeting that night, but if it's not gonna be real long, I'll just be late to that meeting.
So.
But we don't know if we'll be out of here by 7:30 or not.
So we received a phone call from a neighbor in the area saying that they saw the construction going on, and that's what brought our attention that the permit had been issued in error.
Okay. Oh, so there's a good chance that people would be opposed to that because they know there's
Yes.
restriction on the property.
I think you will have more people in the audience than you do tonight.
More than tonight? Sure.
That's not much of a tall order.
More than the men in blue?
Yes, yes.
So has there been some evaluation done as far?
So our village arborist and our village engineer are going out tomorrow. There is already in the staff report a letter from the arborist that the homeowner hired to look.
Okay.
So we're liable to have conflicting information.
Not necessarily. We don't have our arborist report yet. It'll go out, they're going out first thing tomorrow morning, and then the packet will go out shortly thereafter.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the update on that.
Do we have a village arborist now?
We have had a village
Ed.
forester for
Well-
20 years.
I asked recently, within the last 2 years, for an arborist to come out and look at my trees. And when I was told by the front desk, we didn't have one.
We have had a village arborist.
One time,
Say, they came out to my house probably 3 years ago.
okay, at one time, she was pregnant,
Yes.
and that's why she didn't come out. I understood that. And I went back later and said, maybe because she was still out on leave.
You're not pregnant anymore, are you, honey?
So Christie, the resolution addresses damage or if it hurt the tree, and then you said drainage,
Drainage, correct.
so somebody has looked at that
The
also?
village engineer is going out for the drainage aspect of it. Yes.
And possibly that's not gonna be a major concern, there'd be more of a concern with the trees, right? Because it's probably not a drainage issue.
Both of those two things need to be
They're
evaluated.
important, right, yeah.
So that's the only criteria that the
Agenda, it
decision
said
should be based on.
2511.
Well, that's interesting.
That's why it's a special meeting.
That's why we don't issue permits in error too often.
Yes, that's true. Yes, Charlie?
Okay, so maybe I should go back to the agenda, but when I get down to where we were discussing this evening, it says Planning and Development Services Memorandum 2561 on my sheet. Did we,
That's our memo number, not our case number.
okay, so the case number is further up in the,
Case number should be on the agenda.
Yeah, and that was 2511.
okay.
11, yeah,
They're picking on us today.
okay.
It was a test. It's another quiz. I failed.
So we're probably going to have more visitors in the audience than professionals giving testimony, right? There might,
Correct.
okay. Maybe we better have 3 or 4 men in blue here, because it could be contentious.
I don't think it'll be that contentious, I hope.
Not like the bail film.
We'd save those kind of fights for the massage parlors.
Yeah.
And then we will have a normal scheduled meeting in November for Bartlett Mart across the street is a convenience store. They want to add packaged liquor sales. So that'll be a special use permit request.
So they want to compete with town liquors.
Correct.
Which, yeah, that's questionable.
Any
Okay,
update on the restaurant by Savory? The Italian,
Oh, the Italian restaurant, they're still working on their build-out permit.
so since that person, one of the supporters of that is a friend of mine, should I recuse myself that night if they show up?
For which case?
Oh, for the Italian restaurant.
If it has to come before us, that would be up to your discretion.
Okay.
Depending what the relationship is.
Right. Thank you.
You know, if you don't think your vote would be influenced by it, doesn't matter. It's just like I'll tell you, when CVS went in down here, because I was within 250 feet of it, I got notice about it. But I was not opposed to it. And I had neighbors that had the gall that came up to me and said, well, you're opposed to it, aren't you? And I said, absolutely not. I said that. And I said, and you have a lot of gall if you think you're opposed to it. Well, we moved here, I said, that was zoned commercial long before you ever moved here, and you have a lot of nerve thinking that you should be able to stop it. I said, I am for it. And it's very rare because I don't make my mind up before the meeting, but I was glad to see it. But I didn't recuse myself. If I had been opposed to it at the get-go, yes, then I should recuse myself because I couldn't give a fair hearing. You know what I mean? But for something like that, and that's, so you need to make that judgment too. Are you able to say, I've stood up to a lot of people that have come before us. I didn't get on this board to be a conduit for my best friends to the village board. I got on for what's good for the village of Bartlett, and that's how I make my decisions, not what my friends want. And so it's just one of those things. Any motions to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Bob, seconded by who?
Second.
Amy? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Very good.
I had some work done.
In what, less than 2 weeks?
We came across this new
Village
insight.
board meetings, you going to a village board meeting?
I don't think so. What's going on at the
Today's
village
what,
board
Tuesday?
meeting?
Next Tuesday.